This is a huge chapter where we finally return to the Straw Hats and their epic conflict with Kizaru and an Elder and see the result of the Seraphim fight. CP0 switching sides and more, so insane and hype, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Chill the parking with it and smash that like button if you enjoy seeing these One Piece reviews and want to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Nakama by subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you haven't already so you don't miss future One Piece reviews and updates. And now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. Chapter 1089 is called the Barricading Incident, and they really brought a lot, as we'll see soon enough, to try to finally take down Vegapunk and now the Straw Hats as well. We start at Fuchsia Village, which is always cool to see. You know something big's just about to happen when Luffy's hometown is shown. Mayor Whoopslap is reading about Garp in the news, but he trusts that he'll be fine. Meanwhile, Makino's son is laughing at Luffy's photo in the newspaper, and it's normal Luffy, not Gear 5. Makino says to him, "You've grown to like Big Brother Luffy." So we may have another little pirate in the making, even if the mayor might not like the idea. But it's cool seeing Luffy inspire the young, like Shanks inspired him. We're coming full circle now, another sign that the story is nearing its conclusion, relatively speaking of course. I'm personally hoping it goes for 5 more years at least. We then jump to Mount Kolubo and to Curly, Dadan, and her bandits. She is in tears asking what Garp and Luffy are up to. Yeah, Luffy is in trouble, but I think just as Garp fell, Luffy will now rise, soon with a W against an Elder no less. At least a sweet escape. Suddenly, an earthquake is being felt, and it's happening 6 days after Lulusia Kingdom got erased. There is now a huge hole in the middle of the sea where Lulusia used to be, similar to the hole in Enies Lobby, which of course makes us think about how that hole came about. For now, we cut to people all over the world feeling the earthquake. We get, among others, Momo and Wano, Iceberg in Water 7, Emu in Merijoa, even my boy Laboon in Twin Cape, my personal favorite addition. Oda didn't forget about our boy Laboon, good to see. We even get to see Ivankov reacting. But the earthquake is not all. The sea around the world rises by 1 meter, sinking many islands. The world seems to be going crazy right now. Definitely feels like a time of great change. The mayor back at Fuchsia Village is looking at the rising water and is looking understandably worried. We then finally jump to the best part of the chapter in my opinion, which of course includes Luffy versus the Marines. So at Egghead Island, Marine battleships are surrounding the island. We finally see Admiral Kizaru in action as he attacks an attacking sea beast weapon, destroying it effortlessly with one of his light beams. Pretty impressive, not gonna lie. But at the same time, we're told Kizaru hasn't started the attack yet because he doesn't want to cause too much damage to the island. He tries to get Sentomaru to just surrender, but of course Sentomaru refuses. We even see a flashback of Kizaru illustrating his power to Vegapunk and a young Sentomaru who gets very excited. This is no surprise since we've seen beams from the pacifistas, but it's cool seeing all of these characters younger. It really fleshes everyone out, and cool to see even these two had history. Sentomaru even says that Uncle Punk managed to develop the pacifista's laser by doing research about Kizaru's power. He can't believe he is the one that's coming to kill him. A good point. But after Kuzan went after his mentor Garp like that recently, can't say it's surprising for One Piece. Kizaru is Kizaru though. He says he can't cover him from the researching Void Century charges. At the end, he has to obey orders, and that's in alignment with what we've gotten so far from Kizaru. He's not one who, like Kuzan, challenged and pushed back against the Marines and orders. Around Egghead, we see that there are 100 Marine ships and 9 Vice Admirals and 30,000 Marine soldiers in total, and of course, most significantly, Admiral Kizaru and Elder Saturn. Still can't wait to see how Luffy is gonna turn this around. It's gonna be so epic and raise his reputation further to unimaginable levels right now, especially depending on what he does exactly. Just escape, which is a possibility, or maybe even take down an Admiral and or an Elder in the process. I would love to see the Straw Hats get matched up against Vice Admirals, and of course Luffy to take on the Elder. But we'll see what happens. Doberman and Doll are there, among new Vice Admirals who are sure to bring in their own unique and exciting powers to the mix. Notably, Vice Admiral Doberman was one of the 5 Vice Admirals who led the Buster Call against Enies Lobby, so the fact that there is almost double the number of Vice Admirals here should tell you how seriously the government is taking Luffy and Vegapunk. It's even pointed out that this is bigger than a Buster Call, which is crazy. The only difference is that they do have to be careful to keep the technology and so they can use it for themselves. For the elders part, Saint Saturn is also eating, having his meal in his room. Dude looks like he is enjoying some wine. Gotta give it to him, the dude knows how to enjoy himself before a big conflict. Vice Admiral Doberman comes in and gives him a recap of the situation. We see chibi versions of all the groups as it's being explained who's present and where they are, from the Vegapunks to Seraphims to Straw Hats to CP0 to even Sentomaru, and of course we know Bonnie is a factor as well. For his part, Saturn tells Doberman to sink the researcher's ship that escaped the island earlier because he doesn't know if one of them knows too much. Clearly, Saturn is not the kind of guy to show mercy. We then see York complaining about why they tried to kill her along with the other Vegapunks. The Gorosei replied that they saw no difference between her and the others, but after the Lulusia incident, they have a new idea and they might keep York to help them with producing more Mother Flame weapons. After we saw the devastation one caused, that's scary, but it's definitely in alignment with them to try. At this point, it seems like the Marines won't stop until the whole world has holes in it and everything is underwater. It's revealed that York, the traitor she is the one who also sent the Mother Flame to the Gorosei. The power plant for producing them is on Egghead, another reason they gotta be careful during this fight, and it's an interesting complication, but one that I feel like may be forgotten if the fight gets heated enough, especially if York can survive and recreate it. York made the Gorosei promise not to hurt her and the research laboratory and to make her a world noble. They agree, and we see that Saturn and Kizaru are listening as well. And then comes my personal favorite part of the chapter, the twist. All this time, York seemed to have been talking from a position of power, but then York starts bawling her eyes out as we see that the Straw Hats have been successful. They found a way to deal with the Seraphims without much trouble, it seems, and Zoro is holding his sword to York's neck while Luffy is chilling out and eating. All's good that ends with meat, as Luffy would probably like to say. Usopp is the one operating the snail, and everyone is there, even Bonnie and Lucci. Notably, Lucci doesn't look tied up and he seems pretty chill, so I'm wondering what role he'll play in the upcoming fight. Obviously, he owes Luffy, and Seraphims are one thing, but will he go so far as to help him against the world government and such important figures? Let me know what you think in the comments. Who knows what happened during this brief time skip and how much these two have grown closer during the result of this battle. Of course, the elders and Kizaru all sweat and are shocked when they learn the twist that the Straw Hats are now totally in control and York is begging to be saved from Luffy. Like I said, it's funny, they seem to be under the impression that York was fine or that she even dealt with the Straw Hats using the Seraphims, but now it's clear that the Straw Hats are ready for the big fight. In fact, although we skipped some stuff, we didn't even see Luffy need to go Gear 5 and they had time to recover and prepare, so it really seems like the Straw Hats are in a good position right now, which is a flex after having to deal with the Seraphims. Almost everyone's got something to say, and just gotta say this panel is amazing. I love the vibe. Nami says she gets the situation now, Vegapunk says so that's how it is, Bonnie says that this really is a barricading incident, while Luffy says, hilariously mind you, I don't get it, but we just have to use her, meaning York, as a shield to escape, right? So funny, and yeah, I love that he says stuff like this that Sanji would never say. And again, I gotta emphasize, it's so hyped to see the whole crew just chilling and looking badass, especially Zoro with his confident smirk. I love it. We're also told that there will be a break next week for all Shonen Jump series, and it's clear now that it's finally time for them to either escape or win, and it's going to be one of the most epic situations in One Piece. And I just love how they invested so much into Seraphims and put so much hope into them, and right now it seems like Luffy really embarrassed the world government by dealing with them so easily. And also, the anime is almost caught up with another one of the most epic situations in the anime, namely Gear 5 and Luffy's awakening, and to honor that, I explained and ranked all 12 Mythical Zone users and their powers, including Luffy's of course, so see where Sun God Luffy places by clicking the link on screen right now, and I'll see you there.